had the channel on YouTube up for some time now. The main reason for that is that manufacturer's instructions for heating controls are absolutely shambolic, archaic, and do not help us to set up our heating systems the way we should expect to do so. It should be straightforward, shouldn't it? But it's not. So I set about a few years ago putting some videos up, and I've had a lot of comments on those videos asking me questions, and I always gladly come back with a reply when I can and try and help you out. This is a new one for me. I'm sat here answering comments, and I'm thinking there's a lot of these comments I repeatedly answer and answer and answer, and I'm thinking maybe this little go live may help people jump on and that I could answer questions. Hello. Hello, is there any questions I could help you out with there? Yes, sir. You see, this is new to me, so I'm not truly knowing what I'm doing. It's my first time out. But if I can help you with anything with regard to your heating and your room starts, I'll be gladly to help. How do you manually turn off your SE heaters? Which SE room start is it you've got, you see? Make it a little bit easier if I can. Is it square? Is it rectangular? The rectangular is the SE4. From that point, the square one's SE5 is a square start. SEATRP4. To be able to turn that off, how do I manually turn it off? It's that pitiful. Turn that one off. Let me just look. I've got a stat around here for an SEARP54. Bear with me. Please just hold while I find out. I'll get you the answer on that. There is a way to turn that off. It's just a bit of a trick. Was it the RTP4? Bear with me, because some of these stats I haven't worked with for a long time. The ones I'm working with at the moment I know off the back of my head, but I just need to look this up for you, and I'll be able to help you out with that. Got the instructions up at the moment. So, how do you want to turn it off? Do you? I put it 5 degrees on manual, but the heating is still on. 5 degrees at the moment, but the heating is still on. So your starts at 5 degrees, but your heating's still on. Have you got a 1 or 2 zone system, you see? Do you have more than one start? Do you have a start upstairs and downstairs? Only one, you think. So you've only got one control, one thermostat where you physically turn the temperature up and down. The only reason I ask is if you've got two, the issue could be your zone valves. So you could have zone valves linked to it, which the problem, not the start. Is it a combi boiler? Is it a combi boiler you see? RF. You see, can you um, is it? Do you know if it's a combi boiler, as in a combination boiler? You turn the hot tap on. You don't have a cylinder. You turn the hot tap on. And you get the hot water instantly. You're saying RF model. So what an RF model is it has a receiver at the boiler. The thermostat you have doesn't have wires to it. It's just communicates with the receiver next to your boiler via an RF frequency. If your thermostat is not responding as you could, take a look at your receiver next to the boiler. It could well be that it's in manual. If it's in manual, it's kind of like an override, so your heating's just going to come on all the time. So you've connected your receiver. What's the display showing at the boiler on the receiver, not the thermostat? Yeah, if it's on manual, you see, that's kind of like a manual override. So if you kind of manually override receiver, it ignores what you're doing on your thermostat. Not manual, both lights are off. Okay, bear with me. I'll take a look at that. Just need to go to the RF instructions. Okay, I've got the RF ones here. It won't be a second. Instructions. Okay. Have you lost connection between the? Has it been working okay so far? And have you lost connection between the stat and the receiver recently? It's been installed today. Okay. Right. May just need to take you through the original setup then. If the receiver and thermostat have been supplied as a kit, you've usually been paired and you won't need to do anything. Manual auto. Power up the receiver, press manual auto button. Okay, I'll take you through these, you see, and hopefully this will help. At the receiver, which will be next to your boiler, power up the receiver and press the manual auto button for approximately 10 seconds until the manual green light begins to flash. Once we get through this, it connecting, I might be able to answer that and being able to just turn it on and off as you like. When you say okay, if you got that green light flashing. Yep, great. Right, on your thermostat now, make sure the slider is in the off position. Then you need to press A, H and plus button for 3 seconds until you get a little, what I would say is like a Wi-Fi transmitting signal symbol flashing. So hold the A, H and plus buttons. 3 seconds, you should be able to get that symbol up. It then says once the lights stop flashing on your receiver, you're paired up. So if they stop flashing on your receiver now. Okay, so you're paired up between those two. Right, so what do you want to know regards, just remind me, you want to know, run this manually. How do I turn the heating on? Right, what's your start doing at the moment? What's it saying? Is it giving you a little flame symbol? Is it telling you that it's wanting heat? What's your temperature at? Set on to 5 degrees. Okay, take a look that up. It won't be a second. What's the actual temperature there, you see? Do you know? So your room temperature saying it's 21 degrees. Your actual temperature you want is 5 degrees and your heating's coming on. Hmm. It sounds to me, if you've only just had it installed today, it sounds to me like, what boiler is it you see? Hevalium. Sounds to me like they've wired it wrong. So when you typically get a boiler out of the box and you install it the first time, they come with a little link in them which is designed for you to be able to set the boiler up and get it running the first time without any external controls. That link is on the PCB, which is in a part of the boiler you can't get to. That link means that basically the PCB tells it that it's got a constant call all the time and it doesn't have any external controls on it. So if your boiler's firing up and your room stat isn't controlling it, even though we know we've now just linked it, sounds to me like the installer hasn't taken that link wire out. You probably need to get them back to do that. It's something you couldn't do because it involves taking the casing off the boiler. In the meantime, you can probably turn your thermostat down at the boiler with a Valiant. Do you know what model it is, a Valiant? Valiant Cistern Ecotech. Right, I'll just look up on the. It very much sounds like that they haven't wired the controls incorrectly. So you've linked to your thermostat to your receiver, which is working as it should be. It relies on the installer to having wired from the receiver into the boiler as they should have done. But crucially, there's a link pin in the PCB. If that link pin's not taken out, it basically your boiler is asking for a constant call for your heating. All you can do for the time being is turn the boiler either into summer mode, so you turn it into hot water only, and that'll knock the heating off. You've got to call the installer back on that one. Something not right with that one, you see. So, pressure problem, how about the boiler saved me so much time and stress, thanks. Hey, thanks. That's really appreciated. Any other questions, just fire away. This is a new one for me on doing these lives. Hot water only. Let me take a look at that, you see. It's a sustain, you say. The Valiant boilers have a little bit of an unuseful display on the front, which you've got to. It's not clear. The buttons aren't clear, and how you change it to hot water only mode. As in, they don't actually tell you what the buttons do. So bear with me a second. Instructions up here now. So hopefully we can get that heating off for you. The buttons on it don't actually display, which is the mode button, how to turn things on and off. Switching off the hot water handling mode. No, we don't want that. We just want to switch off the heating mode. The domestic hot water off. How do we not heat now? Switching off heating mode. Okay. Right, I think I've got where we need to be. You've got some displays on the front of your boiler which look like little dashes, which is why I'm saying it's not great, the display on the front. Press, oh, I wonder if I can show you this. I don't know how to turn the camera around. Ah, there we go. You see here, those are the instructions in order to get there with that. Let me just alter my camera a little. Sorry about this. Hi. So I'll go up here. Press this symbol. The heat and flow temperature flashes in the display. Press the minus button and then hold the minus button until off is shown in display. You will then get a tick shown in the display and confirm by pressing the right little minus button. This is what I'm saying, these symbols on these boilers are so rubbish. Heating mode is now switched off. Press that and the display switches back to the basic display. I wish I could explain that easier than having to show you these instructions. I hope you can see those instructions clearly. Can you make out those instructions on the front of your boiler you see? On some other boilers you just simply have a little control which turns from a tap symbol to a tap with a radiator symbol. So if you don't want your heating on, you just turn to the tap. Unfortunately on these variants you've just got to press these different mode buttons. So summer mode, as it said, is basically just saying you don't want your heating on at that point. You're just going to turn it into hot water only. Has that helped at all, you see? I've tried that, got to wait to see if it's worked. Right, what you'll probably notice directly, you see, is that the flame symbol's probably gone out on the boiler. Probably hear the boiler's changed its noise and it's now probably just running its fan. When you did that, you probably heard it just go dump, as though the burner's stopped on the boiler. And yeah, you should stop getting heat from the radiators, hopefully. You need to call those installers back to it, because it very much sounds like they've left the link wire in on the PCB. So they wired the controls in, but leaving that link wire in means that it's ignoring those, and it's just gonna see it as a constant demand on the PCB. So sounds like maybe they wired it, but not got it quite right. Heating systems are, hot water is, heating is, everything is, controls are, boilers are. Yeah, so much stress. I understand that. What's that boiler doing? What's the display showing you, see? Whereabouts in the country you're from? What area? Northwest, northeast, London? Right. A second ago it was showing 2.0, now it's showing 54 degrees. 2.0 is the pressure it's at, 54 degrees is the temperature it's at. If you're not seeing that temperature climbing, then it means that the boiler's probably switched off, which is great. You managed to turn your heating off. 2.0, you'd expect your pressure on your system between 1 and 1.5. When the heating goes on, that climbs typically between half a bar and a bar. So 2.0 is where it'd be expecting to see it. Uh, just trying to remember the sustain boiler, if it actually has a flame symbol on it when the heating's on, or a radiator symbol. Different boilers have different things on, you see. Fantastic. You see, you've managed to turn your heating off. You're not going to be boiling tonight. 52 now, that's great. That's great. That's showing that the boiler's not heating anymore. The temperature's slowly decreasing at the boiler. You've managed to turn the heating off by switching into what's known as summer mode. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. I'm glad my very first live has helped somebody out. I'm so happy. Um, you need to get them installers back. It's clear you see that they've not taken a link out of the boiler, and that boiler is permanently calling for your heating. Excuse me. So they've maybe wired it in as they should have done, but they've not taken the link out. So the link is basically telling the boiler that it needs permanent call for heating. So if you got it in summer mode, it's not going to call for that heating, but that's going to leave you, meaning your room stat isn't working and isn't doing as it should do. So call those guys back and just get them to take a look at it for you tomorrow. At least you've kind of saved having the heating on all night and being really uncomfortable. Glad I could help. Thanks. Notice I've got a second person on here now. Please put a comment up if there's anything I can help with. Oh, you have a good night too, you see. Hopefully a little bit more comfortable now without being so warm overnight. Sorry, I'm still not sure what I'm doing on here. So I know I've got somebody else on here. Not sure who that is. Please post a comment up because I'd like to have a chat and see if there's anything I can help you with. Right, okay. Well, this is my first time on a live. I'm so glad I've helped you see out with his issue tonight. There's been a couple of people jump in. Once posted a really nice comment that I helped him out with an issue a couple of years ago. Somebody else didn't post something up, but please, if you jump on, the reason I'm here is to try and help out in any way I can. Great. Welcome to Lives.